How to become a great public speaker. This is Dan Locke. Welcome to an episode of Boss in the Bentley. On my way to work, on my way to meeting, I answer your questions. You've got questions, I have answers. Comment below if you want to ask me a question about business, about life, about entrepreneurship and building wealth. Now today I'm going to talk about how to become a great public speaker. And I'm on a lot of people, they see me as a great public speaker. I've been a TedX speaker, opening speaker twice in my career. And how do I become a great speaker? Well, first of all, let me take you to early on when I was getting started. Back then when I was going through high school, going through college, during that time in high school, because when I first came to Canada, I couldn't speak a word of English. So English is not my first language. I'm from Hong Kong, and so my first language is Chinese. So I remember when I was going through high school, I had no friends because I was afraid to talk to people. I was the invisible kid sitting in the very back of the classroom. You know what I'm talking about? The kid that where you've gone through a few semesters and you don't even know his name. I was that kid. I would never put up my hand. I would never ask any question because I was so afraid. I was so afraid to say something stupid. I didn't know how to communicate, didn't know how to express myself. I remember during the English class, one time I had to deliver a speech, a presentation. I was so terrified that I didn't want to do it, that I would skip that portion and I would hide in the bathroom because I was so afraid. I remember at the time my high school instructor, Miss Fallon, and Miss Fallon afterwards grabbed me and said, "Hey, Dan, you got to deliver the speech, because if you don't do it, I can't let you pass the class. Just deliver it. I don't care how bad it is. I'm gonna let you pass, but you got to do it. And if you're worried, no problem. After school, come to see me. I'll work with you, craft the speech, and you can deliver it in front of the class. I'll let you pass." And I said, "Okay, I'll do that." So after class, I stayed, and she helped me craft the speech. And at the time, I was just talking about some basic things. I think I was talking about Bruce Lee, if I remember correctly. And I delivered the speech. I remember I would go up to the front of the classroom, and my hand would be shaking, my knees are locked, and I would be sweating, and my face looked pale, and I just delivered the whole thing, like not even deliver, just reading through it, and then it's done, and I put it down, and the people, like a couple of people clap, and afterwards, and I thought to myself, wow, I didn't die. I did not die from that experience. I'm still alive. Okay, this is good. I'm still here. And I want to thank, by the way, I think Miss Fallon for kind of giving me the confidence, pushing me outside my comfort zone to be able to do this. And afterwards, that planted a seed in my mind. I don't know, somehow that planted a seed in my mind and said, you know what, maybe I want to overcome this fear. I want to overcome this shyness. I could just sense that it does not help me. It does not help me in any way. It's holding me back in life. So I joined Toastmasters. If you don't know what Toastmasters is, it's basically a non-profit organization. It's all over the world. You can go to a Toastmaster club and you can practice your presentation skills. So I joined Toastmasters, and I joined a club in Burnaby called Metro Speakers. I joined the club and I just showed up, and people were very friendly at the time. Like, they're all great people, and I showed up and I just practiced. And I deliver my speech, and I follow the manual, right? You do an icebreaker, storytelling, humor speech, and I did all of that. And I was so hungry that I was delivering a speech every single week, because they have a meeting every single week. So I was delivering some kind of speech every single week. I don't care if it's table topic, where you're doing impromptu speech. I don't care if it is like hosting the meeting. I would show up, I would help set up, all of that. And every single week, I would deliver a speech. And I complete the program very, very quickly. What took people like sometimes 3-4 months, I got it done in a month, right? And so afterwards, people, because after every single speech, people would give you a little form, and they would give you feedback on like how's your delivery, and people started writing, oh, good job, awesome, excellent. And then after 6 months in, people start writing, oh, you're natural at this, you've got talent, oh wow, like great skill. I'm like, natural, talented, what are you talking about? There's nothing natural about this. But because of that, I started getting a lot of positive validation that, oh wow. And people come up to me afterwards, great speech, Dan. I mean, what you share with me really touched me or really moved me. And I thought, well, this is amazing. And it's the first time in my life I started to understand the power of words, that being a good communicator, the effect that they would have on you. And I started becoming have more confidence in myself, being able to communicate with people. Because in high school, I remember after school, I would walk, I would not make eye contact with people. I would just have my school bag and I would look at the floor and would just walk like that. I would just go home through the hallway, pass by the locker. I wouldn't make eye contact with anyone. I wouldn't talk to anyone. That's where I was. Through Toastmasters, it helped me develop that skill. And later on, because I was so active in the club, I got voted to be the president of the club. At the time, I was the youngest president for Toastmasters in my district. I was probably, I don't know, 22, 23. And I lead the club, I managed the club. We became one of the most successful clubs in our division, our district, that we have more members than anybody else. We charge more than anybody else. We have a waiting list. Our club, every time we showed up, like we produced some of the best speakers. We won many more awards than anybody else. I'm very, very proud of that because I learned leadership during that period of time, how to work with people, how to communicate with people. In my early, like I was although I'm the president, but I'm working with people who were older than me, right? Also, they're volunteers. How to manage a group of volunteers, that's not easy, right? So through that period of time, I learned my skill and I honed my skill as a public speaker. And afterwards, it's because of my business and people started asking me about, oh wow, as I was becoming more successful in internet and digital marketing, people started asking me, can you teach me? I said, okay. So I started running a little workshop where first it was like 2-3 people. Nobody showed up. With my mom, like including my mom, like 2-3 people. and then, but it grew to 10 people, 20 people, and they brought their friends, and 30 people, 100 people, 200 people. And then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. So I could tell you that, oh yeah, I'm born such a with talent, or I'm born to be a great speaker. That's not the case at all. I never ever thought of becoming a public speaker. That was you got to think about it. When I was a kid in school, couldn't even pronounce words properly, couldn't even speak English. That's the furthest thing away from my mind, to be a speaker, inspire people, and making video like this. Forget that shit. I was just wanting to learn enough, being able to communicate enough that I could talk to people. That was it. But just step by step, as I was improving, I was getting better, was getting validation, suddenly one day I realized I have a gift. It's only then I realized maybe I don't have to be a perfect speaker, but maybe something about the way I communicate, something about the way I share my message, it resonates with people. It touches people's heart. That's after many, many years later. Then I realized, okay, maybe this is a skill that I could further enhance and turn it into something that would help me, but also change a lot of people's lives. So it was not my intention from day one. It was, you try it and do that and do that. And how do you become good? Many years ago when I was training with my Sifu, Ted Wong, who was Bruce Lee's original students. Someone was asking, well, how did I become Bruce Lee? My Sifu said, very simple, you put in Bruce Lee hours. How do you become a great speaker? You put in the great hours. Study other good speakers, look at their videos, attend their training, attend their workshops, look at how they deliver, how they present. Try to mimic that. It's okay in the beginning, because you can mimic, you can imitate, before you develop your own style. Later you can develop your own style. But first, do all of that. For every 5 minutes on stage, me on stage, I spend about roughly an hour of preparation off the stage. Every 5 minutes on stage, I spend about an hour off stage, just for me. Even at this point, before I go on stage, I'm practicing, I'm rehearsing. That's what professional does. And most people, they don't practice enough. You only get nervous when you only be afraid of delivering a speech because of lack of preparation. But if you're well prepared and you practice a lot, then you go up there and it's okay. And when you do it enough, when you do enough time, now your brain knows, okay, you know what you're doing. Even if you have to deliver a speech like now to really like hundreds of thousands of people on camera, no script, you're okay because you're not so much focused on perfection. I'm focused on connection. I'm focusing on sharing, speak from my heart. I'm trying to think of, I got to deliver every word perfectly. That's not the point. That's not what makes you a great speaker. A great speaker is about connecting with the audience, connecting with your viewer. That's what makes you a great speaker. It's not about telling that perfect story or that perfect gesture. It's not about that. People don't care about that shit. That's what makes you a great speaker. So if you want to be a good speaker, put in the hours, join Toastmasters, and you got to practice. And study great speakers, and you practice. It might take you some time. It took me years. But you know, if you just showed up every day, showed up, and you keep showing up, you will become better. I guarantee you that. And then one day you may be just like me, you realize, you know what? Maybe I have got a gift. Then maybe this is my talent. Maybe I could utilize this. Maybe I could use this to impact people and help people and transform people's lives. Maybe, just maybe. So hit the subscribe button below. Turn on notification. I hope that helps you. If you have other speaking questions, maybe the technical question about how to deliver a great speech, how to tell a great story, comment below. Let me know what communication questions you have. I'll take my time and answer the questions in a later day when I go somewhere. And check out the videos on the right side as well. Make sure you check out the new videos that we have. We upload a video for you every single day. Until next time, I'll see you in my belly.